10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. We've got a great show lined up. Look ahead to the Man City game. Lots of stats, lots of banter, lots of things to go through. And I've got two Man City fans coming on to talk. They're like buses. You ask for one, you get two. It's fantastic. Let's bring the normal lads in first. Maro had a Maro. He just made it in time.
That's like
looking sharp, pal.
Yeah.
I've got a little announcement for you, Maro. We've made the Maro Cup.
Oh,
so if anyone has a Maro, they get a trophy. It's going to be so funny. To be fair, I'm the one who probably gets it more than anyone, to be fair. Let's bring the Man City lads in with Charlie and Dubs. How's it going?
Not bad, not bad.
Hey, Dabs, that's a lovely background.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming on.
What are you saying, Charlie? You good?
Not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad. Hope to see you around the grounds this season, bro.
Of course, mate. Of course.
So these two know each other, which is great.
Yeah, we've met at one or two games, and through YouTube we've connected a few times. He's one of the up and coming stars of the Man City. He's the future of Man City content creators. I'm telling everyone that now.
and he's really from Manchester as well.
Controversially, he's also he's a bigger fan than a Steam company. He goes to every game.
Ooh. I wish I could do that. I used to, but not anymore. Kids get in the way these days, don't they?
Same.
Oh, God,
We'll quickly just jump in the comments. Getting seriously concerned over our lack of signings. Never thought I would say this after the takeover. And then Al's kind of bluntly said, well, don't. It's simple. You don't get paid to do anything, so calm yourself down. Oh, honestly, it's got NUFC Twitter up in arms again, hasn't it? Arita says, Brian, that's a kind of comment I like. Hi, everyone. Roy again, amazing. 50 Corona, just smacks bang every single show. He's just, what a guy.
Please subscribe to Never a Foul.
He was nearly to Mara. Evening, lads. Evening, everyone. Newcastle is going to win. Oh, God, Lewis. Yeah, okay. We're going to talk about it. Watford rejected second bid. Yes, they did. Mila, thanks for joining. We're obviously a Watford fan. I think there'll be a third bid that goes in, but we'll come to that a little bit later on. Pedro.
Okay.
Yeah, 22 plus 3 million add-ons to make 25. They won 30. We're not budging. They're not budging. So it's a game of chicken. Yeah. One of those ones.
I'd love to talk on so much about Newcastle. Honestly, there's so much I want to talk about. I mean, what do you want me to just start? Or
we'll see what comes up in the slides.
In a positive way, by the way. Very positive way.
You can always have your final thoughts at the end or something like that as well. But let's start with the slides. We've got this. Obviously, the fewest Premier League goals conceded in 2022. 14 for Man City. We're third at 20. Now, you guys have obviously been watching Newcastle for a long time. I'm guessing Daps has. Obviously, Charlie's a little bit new to it. But when have you ever seen a Newcastle side in the top three for less goals conceded? It's absolutely mental, Gary. I never thought I'd see the day.
No, if I was to go back to Shearer days, then
even then, I mean, we're talking. I think the year we blew the title, we only conceded 14 goals or something like that
in the whole season.
Close to that, yeah.
Oh, well, there we go then. Fuck me, that
was a long time ago.
Sorry, only conceded 14 goals in the whole season.
Might have been 14 at home, and then a little bit away.
It's pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah, we were very low in that season, and that's when we had Peacock, Albert, Venison,
Beresford.
and Beresford. That's how long ago it was. very, very long time ago. 90, 95, 96, I think it was, or 94, 95.
Keep this in.
But Gary, what do you make of Eddie Howe and how he's marshalled our defence? And he's added to it.
I tell you what, well, it needed sorting, didn't it? Because it was a bit of a shambles under Bruce, and West Brom are finding that out right now as well. But I just think it was Trippier, wasn't it? Trippier got the ball rolling, and then after that, Burn come in. Burn's been a good, solid signing. Botman's going to be a cracking player. We all know that. Shaw's developed into the player he was under Rafa after Bruce bruised him.
Yeah.
And we've got Lascelles on the bench, so you can't really complain more than that, can you?
No.
He's done fantastic with the defence, but hopefully we can just get the forward line sorted now. Because the defence is solid, isn't it?
It is, very solid. Maro, what have you made of it?
It's kind of funny that we concede less goals now when we play more open and progressive game than when we are playing parking the bus under Bruce or defensive under Rafa. But all of the guys in the fence are really solid, and I think Eddie bought some really, really good and smart signings, and our defense finally looks solid, and hopefully we'll build from here and buy a couple of attacking signings and make a great team, of course.
That'd be nice. It must have been 14 goals at home, and it was 23 away. We had a 29 plus goal difference that year.
And it was before Blackburn won the league, innit? Or was it after? Was it before? No, it would have been after because Shearer left Blackburn. So it would have been about 97, 98?
It was 95, 96.
No, 95, 96.
Yeah, we blew the title. Yeah, because Shearer wasn't even playing. It was Les Ferdinand, Ginola, Beardsley, Gillespie.
Right, got you. Because I always keep this programme in here. This is from City v Queen's Park Rangers, 95, the season that United bottled the Premier League to Blackburn. And I always keep it because I always remind everyone this is all I had to celebrate as a kid. That was my biggest celebration. So was it the season after that you lot then pushed United?
It was season after, yeah. But Shearer was still at Blackburn because he played in the Champions League, remember? And he got sent off for trying to punch his own player. And then we signed Shearer in 96 after the Euros, which was just a menace for us.
Yes, after 96 summer. Yeah.
Charlie, what have you made of Newcastle's resurgence? Obviously, to only concede 20 goals is amazing, but you guys, to only concede what you're conceding as well in 6 months is just incredible. And you play attacking football. Yeah.
It's a bit like what Maro said. Play more expressive attacking football than under Bruce and conceding less goals. That just proves Eddie Howe's probably the man for the job at the minute anyway.
I think he's excellent. But just stay away from England, right? You've all got to get #Potter for England trending. Daps, what have you made of Eddie Howe at Newcastle? What have you made of his resurgence of the team, avoiding relegation?
So a lot. Where do I start? Right. So firstly, I commend your club and your owners for the way they're doing it. Like Chibs will know, when we got our money, we had this early period under Gary Cook where we just went splashing the money everywhere. And we had to do it. Kind of, our fan base was a bit smaller than Newcastle's when we got taken over. We had to do it to get us kind of on the map. But it's like you lot of, and that was under Mark Hughes. You lot of it seems like you lot are trying really hard to skip that. And I commend you for it. It's going to be difficult. I do think these next 2 weeks are going to be huge because, we've been doing a show every 2 weeks where we do league predictions, and I've been saying, listen, for me, the one team that I feel could push Man United, could push for top 6, is Newcastle. Reason being, back in the last season, from January I think to May, you finished 4th.
Yep,
if it was just on that period, without Trippier for a lot of it. You've now improved with a better goalkeeper. You've got Botman in. Eddie's had a whole summer with the squad. You've got Bruno, who's with the squad for longer. You've got Trippier back. And I do think by the time the transfer window closes, I think you will have bought 2 more players. And so far, the players you are buying are sensible, right mentality, experienced. And I think what might happen is you're trying really hard, and I commend you for it. But I think maybe in these next 2 weeks, if you have to go, okay, you know what, just to get these 2 over the line, we are willing to maybe be a little bit flexible, because we've shown everyone that we're not going to be dickheads in the transfer market. I think you could get 2 more in, and I really think, and I hope that you can. And then here's the key: the one thing we all know is in January you'll go again. You'll probably go and buy another 2, just especially if you're maybe around the 6th to 10th. You'll go and strengthen again to make that push. So, yeah, I think Eddie Howe. I hope, and I think your board will stick with him until he hits that ceiling very clearly, like we did with Hughes, kind of. And then it's. But I do think, and just to my best friend actually has just recently got a job for Live Golf.
All right. Yeah.
Which is obviously managed by the Saudi Investment Fund. And it's very interesting because it's a very similar model. So you guys have just recently gone and got, is it Ashworth from
from Brighton,
Right. And again, they could have had whoever they wanted, and they've gone and picked someone from Brighton. Again, my mate's just a guy from Milton Keynes that's very good at videography. He's just been given the content director role for Live Golf. But he's good at what he does. Yeah. So that's what they're going for. They're not going for big names. They're going for good at what they do. Best in, ultimately, what we say Man United should do. Best in your, what's the word?
Field.
Best in your field. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I'm impressed with Eddie Howe. But I'm also impressed with how your board are allowing Eddie Howe to run it the way he wants to run it.
Yeah, that was very, very important, Gary, wasn't it? When Howe came in, he needed to have full control, especially over the playing side. The recruitment side as well, he needs to have a say in it, because otherwise you end up with players you might not want to work with.
Yeah. I think you just need to look at the signings we've made. They've got Eddie Howe's name written all over. And if you look at the players we're linked with, or we've heard, like Gallagher, Pedro, they're all players who played in the Premiership with experience.
Yeah.
And that's what Eddie...
Gallagher.
Yeah, Gallagher's another name.
Gallagher. Madison, obviously, they made a bid for him. He's another one, Premiership experience. So Eddie's clearly got a lot of influence in what's going on at the minute of that football club.
Like the Gallagher one's a good one. That's a clever one.
Yeah, we don't
know whether it'll be loan or permanent yet, though. This is the thing. But Amanda Stavely and Mendar were spotted at Chelsea in the Tottenham game with the hierarchy, so it's very interesting. But they did then strike £100 million investment deal into hotels and into housing and stuff like that. So it might have just been there, but they might be there for players as well.
Something similar happened with us. When we played Real Madrid a few weeks later, our owners have given Real Madrid a loan to finish off their stadium.
Wow.
Lifestyle of the rich. Oil money, eh?
We've still not got used to that yet, have we? Because the difference between obviously Man City and Newcastle back in the day is FFP wasn't a thing, and now it is. It's kind of put a bit of restraints on what we can do.
Kind of was a thing. Trust me, we've been through the court and back over it.
Sort of. It's a lot tighter now, though, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it is or not. I think we've exposed them. I think UEFA are weary of pulling anyone up now. And look, if our owners can do that in court, then your owners are going to be able to bend them over even further. So I think they won't go near your owners, mate. But also with your fan base, you might have a bit more flex. You've got quite a big fan base.
Right, I mean, if we can get Pulisic and get America on side, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
but it probably won't happen. All right, boys, says Nick. Any Man City player who could spread to the north? I'm guessing, we'll take Kevin De Bruyne any day of the week. Totally admire Man City. We are a long way to catching them. But Piff, I believe in. Piff don't like finishing second. So every team is trying to scam us because they know we have money. We sort of richest owners, not the richest club. We've just got to separate that a little bit sometimes. Every team is trying. I've just said that. Jack Grealish, I don't think he will play at St.James Park. That's interesting. We'll come to the lineups later on. The defence aren't under as much pressure as they were. That's true. after Blackburn. That's about Shearer. Rome wasn't built in a day. Howe will be there for a long time. I think he will be as well. 10th to 7th, I'll be happy with. Finally, Lewis, a sensible comment. Not saying we're going to batter City on Sunday, but 10th to 7th is what I think our season could be. I was talking to a Man City fan and he said, don't rush yourselves, enjoy the ride. It's a trip of a lifetime. Exactly. We get the cup finals. And
do you know what? One thing that I wish, I don't know about Chibs, but one thing that I always wish and think, I don't know, maybe we would have won the Champions League by now is the Europa
the one that's
League.
eluded you, hasn't it?
No, was it called? I don't even know if it's called the Europa League then. I think it was still the Europa League then, but kind of, I think the furthest we got was maybe, I think it was the quarters when Ilano played, hit the crossbar. And I always thought, you know what, if we could have just gone that little bit further in the Europa League and picked up the Europa League, then maybe it would have put us in better stead. But it's spot on. I mean, just enjoy it, man. Do you know why you should enjoy it as well? And I'm sure you've heard this before, but I can tell you now as a City fan. And I never used to get asked. So I moved down south when I was 16, and I never used to get asked why I supported City. It was fine. It was perfectly fine that I supported City back then. When I told people I supported City, I was known down here as the Southern City fan, and it was perfectly fine because everyone would say, "Oh, you know what? I've got a soft spot for City. Your fans are so good. They travel amazingly. You know, even when you're in the third tier of English football, you're turning up at every single ground." And then we won a trophy, and then all of a sudden, everyone wanted to know how long I'd supported City for. all of a sudden, I'm a plastic. All of a sudden, they no longer had a soft spot for City. All of a sudden, City's fan base is rubbish and doesn't turn up to games. And it's like, oh, it's changed now, has it? So all these people that currently are happy for you and, you know, oh, I've got a soft spot for the Geordies. The minute you start winning stuff, it all changes. You become irrelevant. You become boring. You become anything they can say, and it will happen because we know you're going to come good sooner or later. So be prepared for it and enjoy
Bring
the
it
journey.
on. Bring it on.
Mate.
I've never seen us win anything all our life. Bring it on.
That's how I felt, bro.
I'm just going on what you said earlier before. I still don't know how you didn't win the Champions League last season.
It was just
you know what
mad
is
moment against Real Madrid, wasn't
it was when Grealish missed that chance, and if it honestly, I don't know what happened in the last 5 minutes in that game.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
Honestly,
it was when we were in the semi-final of the UEFA Cup and Kieran Dyer missed that open goal from 30 yards, and then we capitulated just like City sort of did. They could have put the game to bed, they didn't, and then things
Charlie,
went wrong.
did you go to the away leg?
No.
Right, so I can compare that, and I can compare that to winning the league on the last day of the season. Liverpool fans will always tell you about heritage, right? Always, they scream heritage, Champions League heritage. That's all they say, and I'm a believer of it. I think our fan base have only really truly believed about us in the Champions League since we played Chelsea in the final. That made us, when we beat PSG in Dortmund and got to the final, our fan base started to care about the Champions League. When we lost it to another English team, it really, really hurt. It hurt a lot. And to have them, no matter how good we are in the league, they'll still throw that back in our face. We went into that semi-final against Real Madrid. I was at the Bernabeu, and we all thought we were going to win it. And we were pretty comfortable. The ground was not that lively until they scored one goal. And my God, I've never felt anything like it in my life. If I could describe heritage in a sound, that was it. It was like they played this song that I still hear in my head to this day. They're all going mad, and they celebrated that first goal, knowing they needed two more, like they'd got the two more, right? Fast forward to the last day of the season, same thing at the Etihad. When we scored that first goal against Liverpool, we celebrated like it was the third. We were all talking about running on the pitch at the end, and we still needed two more. Well, one more technically, but it's because we know how to do it. And in the Champions League, I think that's so key. Like Liverpool, I think, again, if Liverpool faced anyone else in that final, Liverpool would have won the Champions League last season, but they faced a team that know how to do it more than them. And that is it. It will happen. But I'm so bored of being asked about it.
Right, let's move on to what happened at the weekend. Obviously, you picked out a man of the match for me. Both of you did. One of you went for Gundogan. It was a one of the players who stood out. And I mean, his stats, prove that he did. He was an 8 out of 10, 7.6, but I always rounded up to an 8. Accurate passes 34, key passes 3, 2 long balls, aerial duels 2, he won in gram duels 8. Now, gram duels 8, winning for someone who's an attacking player, that tells me you're winning the ball high up the pitch, Charlie.
Yeah.
That is a key to the way you play your football, isn't it? Win it high and hit as quick as you can.
Yeah.
What do you make of Gundogan's performance last week and those stats? Is that just what you expect every week?
Not what I expect every week, but when he comes into the team, he's very impressive, Gundogan. He's doesn't necessarily start every week. Recently named captain, that'll be a morale boost as well.
Yeah.
And very good performance. But for me, Bruyne was man of the match on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll talk about him very soon. But I'm a big fan of Gundogan myself. I think he's a very underrated sometimes. Dabs, what's your thoughts on Gundogan?
Did I go with Gundogan?
I think you must have.
Yeah, I was floating.
There was a few, to be fair. I mean, you thrashed them 4-0. They hardly touched the ball, Bournemouth.
Do you know what? I think this seems to be the season, and maybe the back end of last season, where everyone's now starting to really notice Gundogan. And I've said on a few streams, I think if it wasn't for those 2 seasons of injuries when he first arrived, people would have noticed sooner. I am hoping he's been given the captaincy. We gave Fernandinho the captaincy and he extended a season. Now, I have a sneaky feeling that this might be an attempt to keep Gundogan one more season, because I think Bernardo Silva's going to stay and go next season.
Right.
And I think we'll bring in a replacement, but we can't lose Gundogan and Bernardo Silva in the same summer. It's too much of a loss in the middle of the pitch. Yeah. So I think we've given him the captaincy. Firstly, he deserves it. He's a senior player, but I think also that could tempt him to stay one more year, get someone like Jude Bellingham and let him learn off of Gundogan, because Gundogan is almost like where Bernardo Silva's got silky skills and an engine, Gundogan is just clever. He just is a pure footballer. Again, the Real Madrid game, he came on in that second half, and it's like Pep had said, just go on and play simple, basic football. Remember what I tell you all the time. And it creates space. That's what he knows. He knows how to create space. He knows how to hit the box at the perfect moment. Yeah. And I can see this season him getting a lot of goals, because if you look at Sterling's numbers were double what they were when Aguero was there. Sterling's numbers were double what they were when he wasn't. Now Haaland's here. All right, Haaland will have quiet games, or it will look quiet. Yeah. But he's pulling defenders all over the place.
Yeah.
Gundogan will pop up in that box at the perfect time, find space, and he's so clinical. So, I think for me it was just a very mature game from him. I also think Ake was very, very good on Saturday as well, to be fair. Very, very professional, and shows he could be pivotal this season as well. So, yeah. Yeah,
very strange. He was a player that looked like he was tipped to leave in the summer. So, a bit of a turnaround for him. And no one wanted to meet his asking price, but yet he seems to be pivotal in your either back 3 or back 4, depending on what you decide to play. Very interesting. And you mentioned about Haaland not being influential in the game. You only had two successful passes at the weekend against Bournemouth. But one was kicking off and one was setting up the goal.
You know what? I said this early on. Haaland's being influential without technically doing much, because we saw against West Ham. West Ham, second to last game last season, West Ham were 2-0 up at half-time by pressing us high.
Yeah.
First game of the season, they sat so deep because they're worried about Haaland. And I think that's what's going to... When people say, Haaland, he's not had many touches. Well, it's mad that teams are changing the way they're playing just because he's on the pitch. And when he's that clinical, we haven't bought Haaland to be David Silva. We haven't even... I don't even think we brought Haaland to necessarily score more goals. We were the highest scoring team in the top 5 leagues last season. We brought Haaland to score goals in games we're struggling to score in.
We always said he might be missing that key strike.
And penalties as well, by the way.
Penalties as well, yeah. And I've always said this about Maxi on our side. You can be more dangerous about the ball than actually being on it at times, as long as you're attracting defenders away. And he is obviously going to attract both the back to him. Yeah. And that leaves space for Foden and all them lot to run into. So
they were literally putting 2 people on him most of the game against Bournemouth. Every time he was there, they had 2 defenders on him.
There you go. Mark asks, are we... Where is it? It's gone missing. There it is. Any big plans from war flags? I don't know if there is, to be honest with you, but
Get the flags involved, man.
the flags will be out, but I don't know if there's a big like certain display like they do sometimes. They have a theme to them quite a lot of the time, so but I've not heard anything. So,
well, one thing I can suggest, Chibs, you would have been at the game on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
You know the flares and fireworks.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a nightmare when the game kicked off, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Couldn't see anyone. I didn't know the players were on the pitch when they took the knee. Honestly, they'd snuck on because there was no wind and it was so hot. All the smoke just stayed in the pitch. It took like 15 minutes to clear.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of fireworks and that in stadiums, to be honest with you. The flags are good, but they get put away before the kickoff, so they're out the way completely. Do you know what I mean? So it's just me being old. So unfortunately for Newcastle, though, we had a 0-0 draw. So our best players were actually our defenders. So it's a very different type of story for ourselves. Shaw, as you mentioned, Gary, back to himself. 8 clearances, 2 ground duels, aerial duels. 5 touches, 54, long balls, 11. 66% accurate passes, which is not bad for a defender when you think about it. But he was a man mountain at the back, wasn't he, alongside Botman?
Yeah, he's going to have to be this weekend, if we're going to get anything this weekend, our defence has to be spot on, like the word Brighton again. And Shaw's going to have to be on it. Bruyne's going to be on it. Botman's going to have to be on it. The whole lot of them. Mind, you never know. He might hit another 30-yarder in the top corner again. Really, look. Because if we're going to score a goal, it's going to come from something like that. We're going to hit a screamer.
That's normally how City get beat, don't they? When they play Palace, Zaha scores a screamer from 40 yards, and then that's the game over.
Come on, you're better than that. Don't compare yourself to Palace anymore. You're better than that, man. Come on.
To beat Man City, you've got to have a bit of luck.
Yeah.
They've got to not play their best, and you've got to have every one of your 11 on top form to beat Man City. And if you do that, you've got a chance, right? And just see what happens. But our defence has to be spot on at the weekend.
I think the other thing is, I think some of the times we've played you over the last couple of years, it's and at your place, unfortunately, as well. I'm pretty certain it was under Bruce. You just conceded the game. You just no, not that one. The ones where there's been some where you have literally just conceded the game. Like, I don't even know what he was doing. It's a bit like Tuchel when he brought Chelsea to the Etihad last season. I don't get what he was doing. Where you can't. That's not how you beat City. You can't sit back. You can't just sit back like that. You have to come at us. You have to try and beat us on the counter. You have to try and take advantage of the fact that we will try and pin you back and sit in your half. Yeah. And if you can take advantage of that, you've got a chance.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, the tactics. And you guys have picked your teams, and I've got a different idea, but we'll come to that later on. Maro, what did you make of Shaw's performance at the weekend? He was superb, wasn't he?
He was superb, and as whole of the defense were. Unfortunately, our midfield and attacking players haven't followed that game. But if we want to get anything from tomorrow's game, everybody will have to be. And even then, we might not get a result, because probably out of 10 games, we could get 1 or 2 when everything aligns. And with a bit of luck and great performance for all players, maybe. Yeah, it's going to be hard, but let's hope.
Yeah, I'm clinging on to hope. I don't care what anyone says. We've got a chance. It's 5% chance, but we've got a chance. So as long as we can take it.
As long as we don't turn up and just do what we've done in the past and just give the game up. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's all you can ask. Because we've done that in the past. And like I said, we might hit them on an off day. We just don't know. You know, and they do need an off day for you to beat them, because they're that good. So just see what happens. Enjoy the day, though, you know.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. He's just disappeared. Something must have happened. He'll come back when he's ready. He's still
give him
there.
the Maro trophy.
Yeah, give him the Maro trophy for not saying anything for disappearing. There we go. There's our first rewarded Maro trophy to Charlie because we didn't know he was disappearing. There we go. I'm going to have fun with that this season. So, Dabs, this was your man in the match, Kevin De Bruyne, 1 assist and goal. His goal was unbelievable. The way he dropped his right shoulder to outside of the foot into the far corner was brilliant. 5 key passes, big chances created, 1. Dribbles 4 out of 4. Ground drills as well. He won 6. He got a 9.5 on Sofa score. So that's almost a 10 out of 10. It is a 10 out of 10 in my eyes, to be honest with you. You can see by his heat map, you were hardly ever near your own box, and he was everywhere. He was the right, the left, the middle. He was in the box. He was just superb. And I run out of superlatives to talk about Kevin De Bruyne. I just think he's the best player in the world.
Sorry, can I just say, great artwork, by the way. Absolutely.
Do you like it? It's good, isn't it?
We try and do stuff like this. It's really important to use the tools you've got to kind of stand out. It's really good artwork. Really, really good. And to have the heat map on there and everything. I know it takes a bit of time, so salute for doing that. De Bruyne, look, this is if Newcastle can learn anything, that's one thing. Don't let De Bruyne run at you in that position. Do not let him. It's like Yaya. It was against you guys where Yaya scored that goal where you just let him run at you. And De Bruyne is very similar. Don't let him run at you. Give him space to run at you. Even more so with Haaland, because if you've got De Bruyne running at you and then you know that you've got Haaland running off your shoulders somewhere, that's going to be a real big problem. You've got to try and not allow De Bruyne to look. When you really look at it, it's difficult because if you've got De Bruyne running at you, you know that Foden's going to be somewhere in between you and the defense if you're going to press De Bruyne, because Foden will just be in those little pockets of space looking for something. And then now you know you've got Haaland somewhere trying to run off your shoulder or something. It is difficult, but you can't allow De Bruyne. If you're worrying about where Haaland is and just letting De Bruyne run at you, he'll just put it in the corner. He's too clinical. You can't give him that space. And let's be honest, he's a guy on an absolute mission at the moment. Yes. The last season and this season, I used to be critical of him as the leader. And up until January, I think when we dropped points to Palace last season, I kind of had a bit of a rant saying, look, we could have wrapped this league up, but we want to go against Liverpool and take it to the end. But my concern is we don't have leaders like Company. We don't have Aguero. We don't have Silva. We don't have Yaya. And that day in particular against Palace, no one wanted to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. And then after that, my God, every single game, De Bruyne was just, if need be, De Bruyne will step up. And he really does look like a man right now. Because, we've got to be real. He is getting older now. And he just looks like someone right now that just wants to pick up as many damn trophies and set as many records as he can before he retires. And that's a problem. If we keep him fit, he's one of the biggest problems the Premier League has ever seen, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's superb. Before I come to Charlie, I just want to put this up because I'm blown away. $50 super chat from George Hayes over in America. That is just unbelievable.
We need to get some of these. We need to get some of these. Where are you finding these viewers from?
This doesn't happen, I promise you. I mean, Roy, with his 50 Corona, he's always in every show. He's an amazing guy who supports the channel. But George has done that for the first time, I think. And that is just, honestly, I'm lost for words. I don't know what to say. So thank you so much. It goes towards man.
When you say 50 Coronas, is this because you Geordies love beers, or is it an actual...
It's an actual currency.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, how does he get these 50 Coronas to you? Does he logistically? Is that not a challenge?
Someone's cracked that joke a few times. To be fair, good one, I love it. But
George, it'd be an ale, wouldn't it? It would be an ale. To be fair, not a Corona.
The funny thing is with Corona, I don't know if you can remember seeing this in the shops, but when the coronavirus was rampant, the only beer left on the shelves was Corona.
Corona, people wouldn't buy it. I remember that.
Absolutely hilarious.
I remember that.
Fantastic. Charlie, I've just put the stats back up for you again there. Kevin De Bruyne, what did you make of his performance at the weekend? Personally, I think he's the best player in the world. But how do you sum up his performance yourself?
Superb. Simple as that. Superb.
Took his goal so well, the way he dropped his shoulder and curled it around. he is getting on, like Dabs mentioned. What's going to be the contingency plan?
2 or
Spend
3
100 million.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Who do you think could replace him?
Have you got any ideas, Chips? Because I've never thought. I'm more focused on the fact that Gundogan and Bernardo are going to go, and we need to deal with that, which is Bellingham, I think.
Yeah.
Or Grealish. Do you think it's Grealish? Do you think it's supposed to be Grealish, Chips?
No, to be honest.
No,
I don't think so.
I haven't really thought about it. It's not something you want to think about, really.
It was like for us when Shearer was retiring, how the hell are we going to replace him? And it's the same thing for De Bruyne.
We haven't replaced Shearer.
No, we haven't, no.
See, I remember when Yaya Toure retired. Like when he left, they were thinking the same thing. But there's always somebody out there. There's always another one. Superstar comes along.
Yeah,
and managers make superstars. Managers like I'll say this on Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is an amazing player when he joined us, but playing alongside Fernandinho, playing alongside De Bruyne, playing alongside David Silva, these players they help to mold you. Like Fernandinho has taught Bernardo Silva a defensive side of football. He's taught him some of the dark arts. If you look at, to be fair, Milner left us a lot better player than he joined us because he's playing round absolute elite world-class players. He had the right mentality. If you join the club with the right mentality, you will learn off of other people. It's if you haven't got that right mentality, you won't.
Yeah, there's a good point from Mark here. Can't believe Chelsea had both Kevin De Bruyne and Salah. And they give them both up. Do you know what I mean?
That's Chelsea. That's Chelsea for you.
Yeah.
They it all the time.
That is actually crazy. The more you think of that, that's mad, isn't it?
That's crackers. Absolutely crackers.
2 best players in the league.
Potentially in the world. Yeah. And they've literally, and the amount they let them go for is probably peanuts as well.
Mate, what's even stupider was when Paul Merson said, I cannot believe they paid that for De Bruyne. I remember seeing that thinking, you absolute clown.
That
comes back to haunt him all the time.
All the time. Well, I think a lot of the things comes out of his mouth comes back to haunt him, to be fair. But there we go. Right, Maro, our last star player of the weekend was our goalkeeper. And if we're going to get anything on Sunday, he's going to have a 10 out of 10. 5 saves, 4 saves from inside the box. That one-handed save from the header was unbelievable. He even had a run-out success of 1 out of 1, which, hey, I'm putting it in there. What a performance from him. And 2 games in, 2 clean sheets. It's actually incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, he was great, and he had 2 unbelievable reflex saves that game, and he was also great with his distribution all game. He's much quicker in distribution than Dubravka. He as soon as he gets the ball, he tries to find the open player, get the ball as soon as possible, and he was great. And for Sunday, if we're gonna get anything out of the game, he has to be 10 out of 10, as you said, even better than the last one. But some optimism, really, really 2 good games, 2 good clean sheets, and let's hope he continues.
Definitely. Nick Pope. Well, obviously, we got him trending on Twitter. 2 polls did the unbelievable, all on a Burger King post. Absolutely incredible.
Wasn't it something like 8th in the world or something at the time?
I think he got him to number 1.
Number 1, did it?
Yeah.
No one got
that. He got him to number 1 in the UK, in top 5 in the world or something.
In the world.
Trending. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy.
Tell you what, though, that's going to be one hell of a battle for, or it could potentially be a bit of a battle for the England goalkeeper spot.
Yes.
Because Henderson's has started well at Forest. Obviously, Nick Pope for you. Ramsdale for Arsenal. So, I mean, to be frank with you, Southgate will probably still fucking go with Pickford, but
no, he will.
But that's Southgate for you, I guess.
It is. So for all the artwork, a massive shout out to @MagsBrads. He's the one who sorts it all. So if Chad and Dabs, if you ever need anything to do with artwork, he does it really privately, and he's very, very good at it as well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm so lucky to have him on side. It's great.
To be fair, we've got our own in-house, but yeah.
Have you?
That is amazing. Yeah.
It's great having him.
Oh, had to be involved. Because without artwork, he's like the most important member of the team for me.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go through my YouTube and go through the thumbnails I was making to the ones that he does, it's just it's like
really good.
Sunshine
And
to
it's very
dark,
factual
really.
as well. Very factual as well. Yeah.
That's what we're trying. So this is one I made. Just copy and paste.
I like the way you said made that. That's like when my mum used to cook me food in the microwave.
Exactly. I want to come to you, Gary, on this. This is Bruno Guimarães. Since he got his first start, Sky put up all these stats.
Wow.
First, second, and third. Tackles, duels won, fouls, through balls, dribbles completed. If I was to say anyone who could replace Kevin De Bruyne, it would be him.
Ooh, like that. Wow.
In the next 2 years, Bruno could replace Kevin De Bruyne.
No, because you won't sell him to us.
I know, but
do you know what
one team we can't buy.
I do one thing to realise as well. Yeah, 100% right. Honestly, he could get in the Manchester City team. Is that good? He is that good. Now, we just need a few more of them. If we had a few more of them in the team, it could be a hell of a game on Sunday. Like, real. But Bruno's that good. I mean, he was... Against Nottingham Forest, he was absolutely fantastic. 7 out of 10, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know about it, basically Bruno was fantastic against Forest, and he got a rating of 7 out of 10 by the journalists.
Oh, that's normal. Yeah. Get used to that. Get used to that.
And if anybody can unlock Man City at the weekend, it's him.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. He was a bit quiet against Brighton.
Yeah. Tactics didn't really work that day.
Tactics didn't work at all. But, you know, when you were going on about De Bruyne having don't let him have time and all that, I think we've got somebody in the middle of the park who might be straight onto him in the first minute. And that's Joe Linton. Yeah. So, like I said, if we're going to beat Man City this weekend, I got anything off Man City, Bruno and Joe Linton have to be absolutely 10 out of 10 the pairing.
Nick says he doesn't get into the starting lineup for City. That's interesting. I mean, we're going to talk about lineups
hold on.
anyway.
At the moment, I think Nick's probably right. I think it would be... I mean, who would you take out of City's lineup to put him in?
Well, we'll put yours up first so we can have a discussion of it. I mean, would you take Rodri over...
Yes,
Bruno?
best defensive midfielder in the country right now.
He's not getting ahead of De Bruyne. Rodri is the best defensive midfielder in the country right now. It's the other spot, maybe Bernardo. I don't know. I mean, it's one of them two. But he's not getting ahead of the other two. But that's just because they're absolutely world class right now. But Bruno's got the potential. I think that's fair to say potential. Yeah.
Like I said, 2 years time, definitely.
2 years.
Yeah. How old is he?
24.
Okay.
So he's give it a couple of years, he'll be in his prime. But
so Daps, this is your team. Obviously, you've gone with Foden and Mahrez with Haaland up front. I mean, it just looks scary on paper, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one. Look, picking any Pep team is pretty difficult. We've got Barcelona on Wednesday, which I'm going out to.
Nice.
But it's a friendly, so we're going to be rotating. But I think I feel we're going to play Bernardo Silva because Bernardo Silva and Barcelona. You know what? I would love nothing better than Bernardo Silva to not be on that plane to Barcelona. Because I know that certain Barcelona media outlets will be waiting for him to go to a water machine by himself, take a picture of him, and say Bernardo Silva is out here looking at houses. But so it's a hard one to pick, but I think he'll go strong because I do think this is I think this is the type of game that your owners and Eddie will want you lot to make a bit of a statement, right? That we can compete with the top teams in the Premier League already. We're not going to be like we have been previously at St.James Park. We're going to take it to them. I do think you'll take it to us as well. I don't think you'll sit back. I think Eddie will be like, you know what? I'd rather go out and try and get a result and also get your fans behind the team. And I think for that reason, Pep won't underestimate your team at all. He'll know about Bruno. He'll know about Trippier's delivery. he'll know everything. We've got amazing video analysts that are months ahead of when we play teams. And yeah, I think for that reason, I think it will be a difficult game. And for that reason, knowing that on the Wednesday game against Barcelona, we can play younger players, we can rest players. And so we look, we've got 4 points over Liverpool already. And for us at the start of the season, that is very rare. We won't want to drop points. We haven't got a 4-point lead on them over 2 games to go and throw points away. So I think this will be, he'll go out full. There's 1 or 2 I'm not sure on. Will Gundo start? Will Bernardo start? You know, it's usual Pep stuff. There's a bit of me that I'd like to think Alvarez. I really want to see Alvarez play wide right. And I think a game like this, he could be good because I think Alvarez can bring that high press like Jesus used to bring to her. Jesus used to be one of the best in the league at pressing very high up the pitch. And I think Alvarez will be the same. I think whereas Mahrez is not as good at that. Foden, his press is amazing. And with Haaland now, we do have to have wide players that can press really, really well because I'm not saying Haaland's press won't eventually be good, but he's not used to playing with this high press that Pep will. So, but then Foden got subbed the other day, and will Pep say no? You know what? For that reason, you're not starting. Grealish will give him another run, but Grealish did get a knock in the other game. So this is just usual Pep stuff. But I do expect a strong team, and I would expect Ake and Diaz to start. One thing I noticed the other day that's really so I don't know if you've noticed in our first game in particular, we were playing with our left and right back were playing as inverted midfielders. So ultimately,
does that a lot?
Yeah, but even more so. When I say inverted, I mean really like playing like central midfielders. Ultimately, now we can do, and then 2 at the back. Diaz, literally 2 at the back. Diaz and Ake. Now on the right, if people counter, it's fine. Walker's so damn fast that he'll be back. On the left, Cancelo, not so much. But what I was noticing is Ake is a lot quicker than I thought. And every time people tried to counter down that side, Ake was almost stepping over like a left back and covering perfectly. And for that reason, the way so far him and Diaz have started, although, yes, I do think Stones is better. And I love the Stones-Diaz partnership. And I do think Laporte is better than Ake. I think with the 2 Ake performances, the way we're playing with our fullbacks like that, and the fact that so far 2 games, why would you drop him? So I think I'd expect it to keep going until one of them has a bad game or gets a knock. I think he's probably going to keep going with Ake and Diaz.
Interesting. Right, I've got to put this back up and give him a Maro reward. If anyone can figure it out quickly. Why is he getting a reward?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
5 for 2. 5 for 2. 5 for 2.
5-4-2. You can't play 5-4-2. It's 12 players, mate. There's a Maro reward.
Oh God. No, he's meaning the keeper at the back. He's playing the sweeper keeper.
He's playing I love it because 5-4-2 is 11 players, isn't it? And you need the keeper. So I don't know if he's done it on purpose. He's having a laugh, but I'm giving the Maro award tonight to Lewis for that comment.
Sorry, just one really quick thing. There's nearly 70 people watching this, and there's 36 likes. The likes are free, yeah. So people, it's free, and you don't understand how much it will help the channel. It will just rocket the algorithm. So try and get those likes up to like 63 watching, 63 likes. It'll help the channel massively.
Come on, guys, you heard them. Let's get it done. Competition time. Get it to 60 within 5 minutes. I can't give anything away because I haven't got anything.
A Corona, a bottle of Corona.
Corona, I give a Corona.
A bottle of Corona. I'll give you the Maro award.
Right, Charlie, this is your team. You've got Grealish in instead of Foden. I think it's pretty much the same team other than that one change, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why do you think Grealish?
Just because Foden got subbed off at half-time against Bournemouth, and even though he scored, he could have put Haaland on a plate to give him his first goal at the Etihad. Got subbed off at half-time, and I think it's time for Grealish to have a run out, so that's why I've got Grealish in. Do
you trust Grealish against Almiron?
Oh God, I forgot about. Oh God. Oh no, Grealish can't touch the pitch, man. After what you said.
Yeah, I know.
It's He definitely can't play against any players who like Almiron either because they just get nailed. Oh man, I love it. Right, time for you two to sit back and have a look at what we think is going to happen. So this is Maro, take it away.
Yeah, I think if Target is back, I didn't hear anything new about Target, whether he'll play tomorrow, but
right.
I think he should be right. Okay, then this is my team. I think Botman will play. Bruyne, unfortunately, be the one that will have to settle with the bench, because which is really a shame, because he was really great until now. But Botman was really secure in the last game. He's playing so great. And I think Longstaff for Willock, just to add some stability, and Bruno in a bit more advanced role than he played against Brighton. Everything else is unchanged.
Very interesting. And Gary, you've gone a little bit different. You've gone unchanged, haven't you?
Yeah,
you've gone 5 at the back, sorry.
No, I think he's to go against Haaland. I think he's going to go for them 3 at the back again. But what I think he's going to do is, Shaw.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get Shaw to push out at times to be like an anchor player in front of the defenders and to protect Bruno and Joe Linton as well. So I think Bruno and Joe Linton are just going to do what they normally do. Try and dominate in the middle of the park, which is going to be easier said than done. Yeah. Maxi against Walker's a big, interesting one for me, because Walker's so quick and such a good fullback. Yeah. Maxi's going to be on the top of his game. But obviously it's going to be Man City possession, isn't it, for most of the game? So that's why I've gone for basically Target will come back in, but he's going to try and play a tight defensive game for me.
Right. I haven't done my team and put it up, but hear me out.
We'll go.
Hear me out. Right.
You've got Chris Wood in, haven't you?
I have. I think you might. Why not try a 5-3-2? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 5 you've got at the back.
Yeah.
I would drop Maxi.
Right.
Because he doesn't defend.
Right.
And you need to defend against City. So the 3 in midfield will still be the same. But then play Wilson as a number 10 and Chris Wood as the focal point up front.
See, I think me and John went for the same team, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't. He went Fraser, I went Miggy. So we went for the same lineup. I just think he's going to try and go defensive.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. We just haven't got the players to attack Man City yet. That's a problem. To go on full go and attack them like Liverpool do. We just haven't got them players. But I'd be very surprised if he plays 2 forward. Very surprised.
To hit them, win a flick on, get Wilson's pace in behind potentially.
Yeah, I think you're right. You can't, right. So teams sometimes try and play one target man. For example, if you to play Wood by himself, it won't work. I think one target man, they just get isolated up top. However, a target man and a runner.
Yeah. Which is why I think
target man and runner is even if you play and even if you sit deep with a target man and a runner and just have those two have kind of, Woods just staying up there as the target man and have Callum Wilson, coming back kind of not deep, but coming back a bit and getting involved. But then on the counter, hit Woods and Callum Wilson and any other runners you have to get the burners on and get up that pitch as quickly as damn possible. That is how you get results against Manchester City. Yeah. But you have to. It's hard to get a result against us, but if you do that right, that is the way you can get against us. And it makes it a little bit more difficult when Walker and Ake are playing because they're pacing.
Oh, it massively does, and that's why I think keeping the 3 in midfield with Willock, Bruno, and Joelinton, because Willock will get up and down, Bruno will get up and down, even Joelinton will get up and down to support a Wood and a Wilson up front, and then you've got your 5 at the back for the stability and we call them wing backs, but Target and Trippier aren't really wing backs. They're not fast enough, so they're going to have to sit there. So it is going to be a 5 at the back and then a 5 up front when we're trying to counter attack, and then trying to get back in time to solve it as well. So
that's where you need Maxi though if you're on the counter.
Maybe Wilson's got the pace, and Wood's got that whole. I don't know. It's just a thought. It's just an idea. I just thought I'd throw it out there. As I do.
Wait. Well, I'll tell you what, Pep will not pick that one.
No, he won't.
I just kind of see him dropping Maxi. Do you know what it is? You know, if it was away from home, I think possibly yes. Yeah. But I cannot see him doing that scene. But I could be wrong. But I can see him doing it at St. James.
Well, the other thing as well is just saying fuck it and play 4-3-3. Yeah. And just saying right, we'll have a go. You have a go at us. We'll have a go at you and see what happens.
Better than Bournemouth did. Did.
Well, we're used to having 12% of possession against you lot anyway. So
I'll tell you what. Let's see what happens. Right, if Wood doesn't start, you can give yourself the Maro about it the weekend.
Right, fair enough. Charlie, which team would you be more worried facing against? A 5-3-2 or a 5-4-1?
Probably a 5-4-1, to be honest, because then the wing. Because the wingers will get back and it'll basically be a back seven at times. So
yeah,
I get that. Right, let's have a look at some stats. So Eddie Howe versus Pep Guardiola, it really does make horrible reading for us because Eddie Howe is never got a point against Pep. Both teams' preferred formation is 4-3-3. However, Pep has drawn and lost at St. James's Park, and he's only won 3 out of the 5 times he's visited. So, that's not too bad of a record. There'd be other teams who would be a lot worse than that, who probably never took a point off them at all. So, it does give me a little bit of hope. Head to head, though, it's literally 10. Like, whoops! It's like, oh god. Head to head since 45-46. I was shocked at this. City have beat us 51 times. I couldn't believe it. Drawn 22 and we've won 34 in the Premier League area era, which is where most of these wins come in. 28. We've drawn 8 and won 8. Since Manchester City were taken over in 2008, their record at St. James's Park is 138, Premier League only. And top fixture scorer, this was obviously before any of you guys' time and my time, but Jackie Milburn scored 5 goals in particular in this fixture.
Is it Jackie Milburn, is it?
Yeah, Jackie Milburn, yeah.
Oh, thank you. My skin must look good.
So Jackie Milburn is the top goal scorer in this fixture. So that's even Jesus and all them lot and Aguero and all those lot.
Never. I wouldn't have guessed that. Like,
do 9 at the back, yeah, why not? So a couple more there. There's the last few fixtures, especially in the Premier League. Man City are on a good run, apart from the Charity Shield. And we're on a great run. Won 3, drawn 1. And obviously City have won 3, lost 1. But who cares about pre-season and the end of the season? So
Liverpool did.
Liverpool did, yeah, I suppose.
Well, they didn't when they lost. They didn't when they lost to Man United, but they did.
Yeah. The Howe era at St. James's Park, total games 15 so far. Expected goals 1.3. Expected goals against 1. That's obviously very different when you come up against City, though. Expected corners 95, expected yellow cards 1.5, expected possession 41%. I'd snap your hand off for 41% possession on Sunday. Expected shots nearly 14, 13 fouls committed, and expected fouls drawn 13 as well. The reason why we put these stats up, because it helps people to build a bet and it gives you an idea of what the stats could be at the weekend. But again, we are playing City, so it will probably be completely different. This is my favourite slide, though, Ref Watch.
Oh, God.
So Jared Gillett, 35, from Australia. Good day, mate. Resides in Liverpool, post-doctoral.
Oh, here we go. You're going to win this then, aren't you? You're going to get all the decisions.
He supports... Nobody knows. It's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, Liverpool.
16 years as a referee. He debuted against Watford v Newcastle in 25th of September 2021. Years as a regular referee, only 1. So that's basically what that means is his assignments have been Premier League games only. He hasn't dropped into the Championship already, the lower leagues. He's only done it for 1 year, so he's been through the leagues and got himself into a Premier League referee. Now, to be fair, we've won 1, drawn 1, and lost none with this referee, so that kind of gives me a bit of hope. And the last game for him was in charge was that amazing last-minute Bruno diving header against Leicester when we won the game 2-1.
Oh yeah, what game that was?
Yeah, it was.
Was that the goal that was absolute sensational build-up?
Yeah.
Sort of. It was, because Target won it in right on the bar line. Instead of kicking the ball out or holding on to it to get a draw, you flung it up the line to Willock. Willock bombed into the box and crossed it, and the rest is history.
Reminded me of an Arsenal goal when they were good.
Yes. Total matches, Premier League stats, 10 yellow cards, 3.2 he averages, a double yellow 1. He's never given a straight red. He's only given 1 penalty. And Peter Banks is the VAR referee, as you can see, the blind mouse with the white card, because nobody believes in VAR. So looking at all those stats, guys, I'll come to you first. Charlie, what kind of game are you expecting? If you were building a bet, what are the best stats out of there that you would go with?
I'd expect City to dominate possession, Newcastle keep a clean sheet for maybe the first half.
Ooh.
Then City break through, score a couple in the second.
So we're looking at a draw first half, Man City second half win. That'll be good odds. That'll be about 5-1, 6-1.
That reminds me of that game a few years ago. When they were going for the title.
Yes.
And it was 0-0 at half time, and then it was just close, and then Toure turned up and turned the game.
Yeah.
Basically. 2-0.
Dabs, what about you looking at the stats, the referee? Are you worried about any of those stats that have been shown?
I don't really. Listen, people that use referees as excuses, I might banter about it, but listen, if you're going to blame a referee, your players need to try harder. If you get a player sent off, try harder to win it. We played Bayern when Bayern had Pep, and it felt like we were playing against 11 men when they'd had a player sent off. That's what happens. If you really want to win stuff, you make your own luck. So I'm not one of these fans that blames refs for anything, especially when they give us handballs against Everton. I'll take that all day long. I can see this being I want this to be, before last week's game, I said I predict a 4-0. But more importantly, it's a clean sheet. I really want clean sheets. Clean sheets make me happy. I think they make Pep happy as well. But I can see this one having goals in it. I can see this having goals in it. I wouldn't disagree with the 3-2. 3-2 City.
Oof. That'd be big odds as well. FIFA says this is basically the best manager in the world versus how. It shows you where your manager is going to go wrong, and it can be capable of ever reaching top 4. I mean, we got battered off yous last season, and then Tottenham as well. And Eddie Howe had a bit of a mare in my eyes, and especially in the Spurs game. But our tactic will be to sort of sit back. But there was the one stat that I really held on to. Where is it again? There it is. Referee, we've won 1, drawn 1, and lost none with him. He's our good omen. I'm clinging on to that. Right, we're nearly finished, so I just thought I'd get your thoughts on a few little slides very quickly, guys. Man United, obviously it's time to talk about the birds and the bees. Who would have expected Man United to be bottom of the league, especially after their pre-season? Everyone thought they turned a little bit of a corner. But Charlie, you've got to laugh, haven't you?
Oh, it's hilarious. When I was watching that Brentford game, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, to be honest. Goal after goal after goal after goal. It was just embarrassing.
37 minutes, they were 4-0 up.
Yeah.
I watched it.
And one of their old players, giving them a goal as well, and Ericsson was hilarious. Dabs, is this one as well? Seems like Man United are running the wrong way.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's again, usually, by the way, I get my predictions very, very wrong. I usually don't predict, but I seem to be breaking. I don't wear any City merchandise on match days usually, and I don't give predictions, but I did last week both, and both came true. Then on the United game, I was doing a show with a United fan, and he said, "What do you think of the Brentford game?" And I said, "It's not what you need. Like, if you're going to lose your first game, you want to lose it away from home and then bring it back home and get a win. You lost at home, and now you've got to go to Brentford, their first home game. It's a small stadium. They're on top of you. They will have been drinking all day because it's a 5:30 kickoff and it's boiling hot. If you not make a mistake, they're going to be onto you. And what did they do? They gifted them a goal within 5 minutes. And then from that point, and you know what? I think it was a final goal just summed up Man United for me. It was firstly the way, I can't remember who the defender was, but the way he didn't commit himself. He just stayed on his feet, waited till he saw a millisecond, stepped in and said, I'll have that. 2 passes later, the ball was in the back of the net. And it was a prime Manchester United goal under Alex Ferguson. Literally from Rio Ferdinand stepping in, seeing, Giggs, pinging it to Giggs through to whoever it is, whether it be Van Nistelrooy or whoever, and in the back. It was literally, and you know what, at times, sometimes like, I even think, you know what, because I've got a lot of friends at United fans, should I lay off them? But I've just got to enjoy it because 34 and a half years, they had a banner. I'm loving it right now. I'm about to go after this on Coppish, right? And it's with Liverpool and Man United fans. And honestly, I've brought out my wooden spoon and I'm just going to be like this for the whole show, telling them about how the 4 games the 2 clubs have played and none of them have got a win. It's just beautiful being a City fan. It really is. It really is. Yeah, imagine having Sunderland and Middlesbrough both played 2 games. Neither of them won so far.
It's pretty close to that anyway, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, it's probably a bit more similar to you, but growing up, that's not what I'm used to. So.
No, definitely not. Rob, thanks for the kind comment there. There's a good one here. Harry Maguire makes it 12 versus 10 when you face United, clearly being bribed by Vardy to crash you to the bottom. I love it. I have to put this one up because I thought this was brilliant.
Thumb wars. It was you, Baz. It was you, Baz.
It was me started that.
Wasn't it? Brilliant, yeah, absolutely brilliant.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a fumble. Yeah. But this one, if you look at the pictures, where his hands are. I thought that was fantastic.
James noticed that. I've just noticed that.
And then on a serious note, because I think this has to be addressed and addressed again. I mean, the numbers are a bit silly, though. I got between 300 and 400 messages. Surely you would say something like between 300 and 400, like 300 to 400 messages, but there you go. But the Palace guy getting death threats because he got Nunez sent off. I mean, Charlie, that's just terrible, isn't it, really? I mean, this is the worst side of Twitter for me and social media. It's like, me too. It's like, why do it? You know, at the end of the day, Nunez is a grown man who made a mistake. It's not the defender's fault for winding him up. He's there to do a job, and he's done it perfectly well. He's got the player sent off. You know, so why do fans take it that far? I just don't get it.
Not all fan bases.
Not all fan bases, no. Yeah.
No.
But what do you make of the situation, Charlie?
It's just pathetic, to be honest. Nunez has been put in a trap by Anderson. He's been naive, headbutted him twice. Let's not forget now.
Yeah.
And Anderson's getting death threats for it. It's a joke, to be honest.
Yeah. Crazy. What about you, Dabs?
Yeah, it's just so much I want to say, but I won't say. Look. You know what? It's like when Pickford. It's like the Pickford and Van Dijk thing. It's like, you know, no one's ever been injured in football till Van Dijk got injured, and then all of a sudden it's like things need to be done about this. It's like, listen, it's
get the candles out.
The Liverpool when I can't remember whether it was Sané or Laporte. When Sané or Laporte got injured at the beginning of the season, Liverpool won the league, which never gets spoke about. You know, they had Van Dijk out for a season, and it's ultimately the reason they didn't retain. We had Laporte out the season they won the league, and this was after Company had gone, right? In fact, I believe it was the summer after Company had gone. So Company had just left, and our basic replacement for him was out for most of the season. Never gets spoke on. But it did get spoken by Liverpool Echo, who celebrated, literally celebrated the injury. But when Van Dijk gets injured, it's all arms in the air. Oh my God, there's been a professional foul. We need to do something about this. Like, it's just, like I said, it's best I don't speak on that club sometimes because it won't be nice.
I love it. Gary, what do you make of it? I mean, we see loads of crap on Twitter being Newcastle fans because we rather think we're probably one of the most up and down fan base on there, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking, isn't it? I mean, you know what it is? Liverpool fans, they've been on TalkSport all day because I've got on my radio at work.
Why?
And you tell me, right, just something to do. And all they've done is go on about some of them how it wasn't a headbutt.
Oh,
so
God.
what was it? So what was it?
This is what I mean.
You know what it is? Liverpool fans, right? You know, Liverpool player could literally go onto a gun with a gun on the pitch, shoot somebody, and it wouldn't be his fault.
Yeah, 100%. That's factual. Yeah.
Honestly, I've never known anything like it, and I'd like to thank Man United actually, because all the media are talking about is Man United at the minute, and they're not talking about bloody Liverpool.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's it. So I'd like to thank
glad
Man
you
United
lot
for that
noticed
one.
it as well. Thank you. I'm glad you lot noticed it as well because it's yeah.
The media love it.
They're really. You know what? No, I'm going to stop. Don't worry.
Maro, what about you? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, the same. It's shameful. There's no place in football for that, and it's only Nunez's fault that he got sent off and that he. Yeah, as you said, Anderson just played his part and Nunez fell for it. So this is really, really disgraceful.
Exactly. It was just great defending in my eyes. Old-fashioned English defending. And it was bullying at its best without going across the line. And then Nunez just got sick of it and lashed out. It's his own fault. It reminds me of Roy Keane and Alan Shearer when Roy Keane tried to punch him. You know,
I mean, you just know Jota wouldn't have done that, would he?
Yeah, exactly.
So he needs to learn that, Nunez. Just learn from it and move on. But ridiculous what's going on Twitter.
Right, really quickly, guys, because we've got 2 minutes left. Charlie, what's your score prediction for the weekend?
I'll go 2-0 City.
Oh, I'll take that all day long. Dabs?
Yeah, you know what? I've broke the curse now, so I'll do it. 3-2 City.
Oof. Maro?
2-1 Newcastle.
Oh, wow.
Get it, Maro.
You got to hope.
You've got to. Gary?
It's not a word of a lie. I went 3-2 Man City.
Did you?
I think we're going to score.
My head says 2-0 City. My heart says 1-1. So I'll go 1-1. Why not?
Why not?
For anyone who's after tickets, these are the release dates. Obviously, Bournemouth was actually today. But if anyone's after any members and season ticket holders for any of the games for Brentford, Everton or Villa, you want to get in there quickly. We've given our first Maro award away tomorrow and then to Lewis in the chat. And if you want to stick around for the channel, tomorrow night we're doing the boot room. This is literally a brand new show. We're just going to have a beer and chat about anything on football and on Twitter. We've got a few different fans in from different clubs. We've got Sean, a Liverpool fan. Boo. We've got Steve, the Palace fan, and obviously Gary and Lindsay as well, who are Newcastle fans with me. So it's going to be an interesting show, which we'll try and mix up once a month. But it is literally after 8:30, there'll be swearing, there'll be beer drinking. It'll literally just be something very stupid that we've never done before, rather than being all this serious and stuff like that.
Sorry if I swore before 8:30. Apologies.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean, I swore as well, to be fair.
And I don't mean Liverpool. I don't mean Liverpool as well.
I love it. You and Sean would be brilliant together. I might have to try and arrange that one show.
I'd love to come back.
Yes. But thanks to Charlie and thanks to Dabs. Please check out their YouTube channel. Even though I know a lot of you are Newcastle fans watching, but if you do enjoy YouTube and you want to know about other clubs like Man City, these are the two guys to go to. If you go down to the description, all the links should be there, and you can click on them and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up for this button. Go on, Dabs.
And my one is actually generic. So we've got a City channel, but the Never a Foul is actually generic. We cover. That's why I've said I'd love to have all of you guys on. Chibs is hopefully going to be getting far more involved in the City one as well, and also in Never a Foul. But love to have you guys on. Been really good speaking with you. So thanks for having me on.
Cheers, pal. You just message us if you want us. We'll be more than happy to try and fill in. Charlie, thank you very much as well. You were brilliant. And obviously to Gary and Maro as always. But please tune in tomorrow night because it should be fun. And then we'll do a match reaction on Sunday or Monday or whenever. We've got so much going on. It's crazy. I never have a night off anymore. But good luck for the rest of the season, guys. Obviously not on Sunday, but good luck to the rest of the season.
Same to you lot.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we'll see you all again soon, guys. Take care.
Take care.
See you later.
Yeah.